So hey there guys, and welcome to the very first tutorial of Android Basics as a part of a Journey of Android series. And here I'm going to give a tutorial over the Android layout and what is difference between linear and relative layout, and then some simple components which we would which we would be learning using an project oriented approach. And we will create a project called Portfolio app, a very simple app having some image and a simple text describing about yourself as a portfolio. And then we would be changing or changing the properties and attributes of that components to just give a better look to our UI. So let us see how our UI looks like. And so here's the UI. So this is the portfolio app which we were talking about, and this contains a simple image and three text views, which is the simplest app which we can create for the beginners. So the very first step would be to add the image view to the app and then text views, and then change the attributes to just fit in as good as in UI. So let's get started and understand about layouts and linear layout and then relative layout, and then create the whole app about portfolio. So what is a layout in Android? According to the Android documentation, a layout defines the structure of a user interface in your app. As you can see at the left hand side of your screen, that there's a screenshot of an application. Basically, this UI is inside a layout, or you can say inside an activity in the app. So basically, an activity contains a layout, displays a layout basically, which has the views which you can see, such as this image view and then these three text views. So these layouts are also known as view groups, and these view groups may contain another view groups having some components in it or with these view groups. So the basic layouts which we use in Android are basically linear layout, relative layout, and constraint layout. But here we would discuss only about the linear and relative layout, so that you can easily understand later on the constraint layout. So what is linear layout? As its name says, linear layout. So it is a layout which lines up the views or components inside it in a single line, either vertical or horizontal. As Android documentation describes linear layout as a layout that arranges other views either horizontally in a single column or vertically in a single row. We will use it in this app of portfolio. So basically, in linear layout, the components inside it are placed next to each other. And let us see what's a relative layout. So now relative layout is another type of layout which places the components inside it relate in relation to each other. As Android documentation states that a relative layout is a layout where the positions of the children can be described in relation to each other or to the parent. So here the each component can be placed in relation to each other, and also towards the parent. So as you can see, in the two boxes are placed here in relation to each other, while that floating button is placed in relation to that parent. So now let us see how to code that UI of portfolio app using a linear layout. So here we are getting started with the Android Studio. Now here we would be creating a new project in Android Studio. This app would be having an empty activity. Now naming it to the portfolio. Let's click finish. Now Android Studio is building the whole project. It would take some time, so sit back and relax. So now our Android project has been loaded, and this is XML. Let's come to this activity XML where we will design the layout. So this is the default code of Android for constraint layout. Let's change it to the linear layout. And we will provide its orientation. Orientation can be either vertical or horizontal, so we will be having vertical. Let's delete all this stuff and let's add image view according to our need of the UI. So the width of the image view would be wrap parent and height would be 360 dp. Just as a custom, you can change it according to yourself. Now we would be adding a image. We would be pasting it in the drawable folder. The image name is Tony, and now it's okay. So now as image has been added to drawable, let's access it, drawable/Tony. Now we can see that image has been added to UI. Let's scale it now, scale type center crop, so that image can occupy the whole space of the region. Now we would be adding a text view with the wrap content and width and height. And now we will add a style to the bold and text as Tony Star. You can add your own name here. We will add padding of 10 dp and then size would be 32 sp. Remember, text size would be in sp. Then text color would be black one. Yes, Android default color. Now we would be adding another text view for address, so it would also be wrap content, and then increasing the text equals to Malibu Point, California. Now text padding of 10 dp. Text size would be 21 sp. Now we would copy it and just paste it to the next, as the another text view having the same configuration. We would just change the text, that is tonystark@gmail.com, as a contact information, and now our UI is ready. This was the simplest example for beginners to create their first UI in Android.